I can give you a little more information about the programming environment. All right. First, for the content for this class, there are 4 blocks. Part 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 blocks. Okay. The first part, fundamentals. So we need to learn some background knowledge of databases. So we, especially for the first few weeks, we work on the fundamental part. Then, this part 2, then SQL queries. This is the main block for this class. Most important part of this course. SQL queries. And they're very useful in IT industry. Data science, IT industry. The skills for in this part, very useful, SQL. So that's our main focus of this class. Part 3, then, algorithms, data structure for performance. We need to understand, because when you do SQL queries, performance is very important. You want to run your SQL queries as fast as possible. Some of the bad queries could be very slow. So we need to consider the performance issue. For this part 3, we try to understand behind the scene, how to make the queries faster. How to make, mainly, so although we say queries, but mainly we look at the data search part. Data search could be very time consuming. So other operations, not that slow. But the data search could be very slow. So we want to look at how to make the data search faster. That's the part 3. Part 4, so then current trend. Because current, so in industry, social network related applications, very popular. In order to support social networking applications, a special type of databases should be used. That's our part 4. It's called NoSQL databases. Non-traditional. So this type of database we call the non-traditional databases. And the first 3 parts for traditional databases. And in the real world application, most of the applications we need to use traditional databases. Only a small portion, although the current trend, but it's very small portion of the application. We need to use non-traditional databases. So we want to learn some basic knowledge of non-traditional databases. So that's the content for this class. These 4 parts. And here I may like to explain a little more for these 4 parts. So for this class, the main part of SQL queries, right? So if I draw a big circle, this is the most important part for this class. That's the SQL queries. All right. But we want to learn more than that. So that's the most important skills we want to learn in this class. But that's not enough. We need more related knowledge. Yeah. So then we need to learn another two parts to support this big part. So one small circle here, yeah, that's the background knowledge. That's the fundamental part. Okay? That's, yeah, because in order to understand SQL queries, you need to have a lot of background knowledge. So we need to learn this part. All right. Yeah, let me just write basics. Okay, all right. Then there is another small block we also need to learn. Yeah, related web programming. Yeah, and I explained last time why because this is not a web programming course. So this is a database course. But I want to show you how important the SQL query skills in the real world applications. So we use web applications. Yeah. Relatively simple. Yeah. We will do simple web programming. Yeah. Not very hard. Yeah. Yeah. So web programming. Another block, okay? Yeah, we need that knowledge, okay? We want to learn relatively complete knowledge for this course, okay? Yeah, 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 like that. Yeah, I understand. Based on my experience in recent few years, many students may not have a lot of knowledge in web programming. Yeah. Yeah. Some students, yeah, based on my experience, I can say about 1/3 of the students, they have sufficient web programming knowledge, but 2/3, not much. Yeah. So for this class, I try to be very friendly for those 2/3 of, so I call them beginner students, web programming beginners. Okay, web programming beginner students. Try to be very friendly. Yeah. First, I do not use advanced level web technologies, basic level first. Yeah. Second, I do a lot of explanation. Okay. Yeah. Although I do not have much time explain web technologies in our lectures. Yeah. But every time when I bring up some new technology, web technology, I explain the basic ideas. Yeah. And another thing, yeah, you need to study. Okay, if you do not have that kind of knowledge, you need to pick it up. Pick it up. Okay, so here for this class, all the knowledge related to web programming, here I'll give you the website, w3schools.com. Okay, yeah, it's a very popular website for beginners. Yeah, w3schools.com. Yeah, a lot of tutorials. Okay. Yeah, relatively simple tutorials for beginners. Yeah, very easy to learn. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the main knowledge related to web programming. Yeah. We only use this one website. Yeah. So I do not give you a lot of websites. Only one. Yeah. That should be enough. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so that's the content part. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, here, that's the, when you go there, a lot of tutorial. Yeah. You know, each topic, yeah, so one tab, you know, for one particular web technology, okay? And this tutorial, it contains, you know, large number of technologies. Yeah, yeah. All right. And also for part 4, and there is a, you know, tutorial part, simple tutorial part related to the part 4. Yeah. For this class, I try to make some relatively simple examples. Yeah. Because in order to talk about how to use non-traditional databases, you need to use some. You need to have some background knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. Although not too much, not much background knowledge, but you need to have some related background knowledge before you can understand the non-traditional databases. Yeah. Yeah. I will try to, prepare you, get ready to understand this technology. Yeah. I explain why this non-traditional databases has some advantage over traditional databases for social networking applications. Yeah. Social network, they have some very special property, social networking. The data is very special. It's different from our usual business data. Most of our business data quite different from social networking data. Yeah. So we need to understand that part. Yeah. All right? Yeah. Next, overview of programming environment, 8.3. Yeah. Web technology components. Yeah. So what we need to use for this class. Yeah. Pretty lower level. Yeah. Pretty low. Yeah. Basic level. Yeah. All right. Client side, server side. Yeah. Client side, I mentioned last time. Yeah. And our first project, we will do client side project. Yeah. You don't need to install any software. You can start working. Yeah. Without any software installation. Yeah. And you can, try to improve your web programming basic knowledge. Yeah, through the first one. Yeah. If you're not familiar with some specific parts, you can pick it up. So use this first project to pick it up. Okay, yeah. So the client side, HTML, very basic HTML. Yeah. CSS, yeah. CSS, also important. Yeah. Cascade style sheet. So basically, we do the styles, style information. Yeah. How to make your pages look pretty. Yeah. Things like that. Okay. But the layout also important. Yeah. We can use CSS to help us arrange the web components on your web pages. Layout. Yeah. Okay, but we use the minimum. We do not use a lot of CSS knowledge. Yeah, very little. Yeah. And in part B, I will talk about the specific part in CSS we will use. All right. Then Bootstrap. Yeah, Bootstrap is a sub-technology inside CSS. Yeah. One framework. to improve the efficiency. Bootstrap. You can find Bootstrap in W3 schools. So we also use very little. Just give you a chance to have some experience. All right. Then JavaScript. Because we want to make our project containing a lot of dynamic features, not static, dynamic features. Components can move, okay? Can change, can move. In order to do the dynamic features, we need a JavaScript. JavaScript is supported by web browser, so you do not need to install any software. If you have web browser, you can use JavaScript directly. In your HTML file, you can write JavaScript functions. So you can implement all the features in our project one. So that's the, what I mean, the basic level of web technologies. All right. But inside JavaScript, there are some sub-technologies. Okay? Inside that, that big umbrella, some sub-technologies we also need to use. jQuery, that's one. jQuery, library, we need to use. So many functions, we can use the jQuery, because it's a popular one, very powerful. So we can do a lot of things using the special jQuery functions. That's one. Ajax, another useful technology inside JavaScript. Especially, we want some instant response. Very fast, immediate response in your web pages. We need to use Ajax. Okay? For example, Google Map. Okay? Google Map, you can drag and draw directly on the map. That's implemented by Ajax. Okay? Another commonly used example, Google search. When you type keywords in the search bar, there is a list of suggestions, right? So that's implemented by Ajax. So we will learn that and use Ajax to do a few features. And JSON data transmission between client and server. Data format, the structured data. How to send structured data between client and server. The most popular format is this JSON format. Okay? Very simple, but very important. So here you can see through this class, although it's not a web programming class, so I try to at least prepare those beginner students. You pick it up, the basic web programming knowledge and experience a little bit. Okay? Prepare you a little better, when you go to the industry. At least you have, some experience, knowledge in this part. Question?
So when you mentioned we need some level of knowledge regarding JSON files, what exactly will we be doing using the queries to these JSON files? Will we need some form of data normalization or something?
Not that. May not be related to the query. May not be related to the query. I mean, just first, we do some simple, data transmission. Without related query. That's one. Another important place we use the JSON when we learn non-traditional databases. Then we need to use the JSON knowledge. Yeah, yeah, not SQL. Yeah, because their format based on the JSON. Their format based on the JSON. Yeah, and in our queries, not necessarily related to the JSON. Yeah, not necessarily related to JSON. Yeah, but here, because for this basic and very useful knowledge, I like most of you pick it up. Okay, if some students they do not have the background knowledge on those important, popular, basic technologies, then you have used this chance. You can use this chance to pick it up. Yeah, all right. But so here, I try to control. So we will not do too much web programming. Yeah. So I try to control. Yeah. Do not make it a web programming course. Yeah. So it's a database course. Yeah. All right. Server side. Server side, yeah, we use the easiest server side scripting language, PHP. Yeah. Yeah. Easiest, so easiest to learn. Yeah. So if you learn PHP, yeah, very easy to learn. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you use other server side languages, much harder to learn. Yeah. It takes too much time. Even use Java, even Python, so you need more preparation than PHP. PHP, yeah, just use our basic programming background. Then, after you look at a few examples, learning syntax, you can do quickly. Yeah, that's the reason. So we select PHP. Also, it is popular. PHP is one of the most popular server-side programming languages. Yeah. 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 All right. So you have some idea. All right. And we IDE, so we use NetBeans. Yeah. NetBeans, you need to make sure supporting PHP. Yeah. When you download, yeah, because there are several different versions. Yeah. Yeah. Java version, PHP version, or some version containing both Java and PHP. Yeah. So when you download, make sure the PHP is included. Yeah. Yeah. So then, yeah, you can use NetBeans. Although Eclipse also has the PHP support. If you like to use Eclipse, also okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you have other favorite IDE, also okay. Yeah, but for this class, I will use NetBeans to run sample projects. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So this is I found a few years ago, top 5. Yeah, we know every year it may change top 5. Yeah. Then. So here you can see Eclipse and NetBeans. Yeah. All right. Then recently I tried to update. So I update. So I select top a few. You can see NetBeans, Eclipse also there. Yeah. Others may change. Yeah. 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 So you know. Eclipse and NetBeans are always among the top. Yeah. 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 Even for PHP programming, among the top. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's the basic programming. All right. Yeah. Yeah. This page we already. So yeah. Yeah. Let me, because this part actually. Yeah. This first one, we already did it. So we can go to the second page. Yeah. Second page. about our programming environment. So we can save some time. Yeah. The reason I copied that, because sometimes I skip if I skip that part in part A, then I pick it up in part B. Yeah. So because I just went through that part in part A, so we can skip here. Yeah. All right. Then, for the development environment, we have more. We need to install more software tools. Yeah. Yeah. So I mentioned that NetBeans, IDE, that's one software we need to install. Yeah. Here we need to install several other tools. Yeah. So this one, I think many students may know this XAMPP. Yeah. Very popular for web programmers. Yeah. Yeah. Very convenient. Yeah. So here, let me explain. Yeah. Yeah. For beginner students, let me explain this we call a software bundle. Yeah. Software bundle. Yeah. Yeah. So most commonly used software tools are bundled in this one software. Yeah, we just install this one, then we have, everything we need. Yeah, yeah. Not including IDE, but other tools we need for this class, all there. Okay, all right. Let me explain one by one. X, that's about the operating system. Yeah. Because this software, there are several different versions, Windows, Mac, Linux. Yeah. So this X, this can be installed on all those machines. X. Windows has Windows version. Okay. W, replace X by W. Yeah, that's the Windows version. Mac, replace X by M. Yeah, that's the Mac version. Linux, replace X by L. Yeah, the Linux version. But the X can be installed on, all those operating systems. All right. Yeah. And the A, Apache server. We need a server, right? In order to develop a web application, we need to use a web server. Yeah. So this is the server we are going to use, Apache. Yeah. Apache web server. Yeah. Very popular. It's free. Very powerful. Yeah. Yeah. We just use it. Apache web server. Okay. Yeah. A. That's A. M. Our database management system. Yeah. DBMS. Okay. Database management system. For this class, when we run queries, we use this M. MySQL, MySQL database. And it contains a database server. Database, we need another server, but this is database server. So here, there are two different servers. Apache, it's the web server. Oh, sorry, we need to write here, not that. So Apache, it's a web server. And MySQL contains a database server. Two different servers. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Since it has a database server, we can access this server remotely. Okay? So the MySQL database server installed on a remote machine. Yeah. Then we use internet. We can access that remote server. Yeah. For example, I mentioned that W3 Schools website, right? W3 Schools website, it has one version of MySQL database server installed. Yeah. Then we can use the database server installed in in W3 Schools website. Yeah. It has a page. There is a page in W3 Schools. You can run database queries. and they use Microsoft database, sample database. Yeah. So we will also use that, sample database from Microsoft. Yeah. I can give you the database script. Yeah. But you can run directly in W3 schools. Yeah. Yeah. So that's one way. Yeah. So for this class, we will use two databases. Two databases in this class. The first one, Microsoft. It's called a Northwind. Northwind database. Okay. Installed in W3 schools. Yeah. We just access directly. Second one, given with the textbook. Okay. So we will use the second one. So with the textbook. Yeah. Oh, what's wrong? Given with the textbook, it's called a company. So we will use these two databases in this class. To do all of our homework exercises and our test questions, query questions. So we use these two databases. Yeah. But our second project, we will use another database given with the textbook. Yeah. So for our project two. Oh, sorry. You're not here. Yeah. I just write the wrong place. For project two, we will use another database given with the textbook. Okay? It's called a university database. Yeah. I will provide you the database scripts for all these three databases. So you download, then you install on your machine. Then you can, do all the work. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's M. Then last two PP. Yeah. The first P, PHP. PHP. Yeah. Server-side programming language. Yeah. Yeah. Given in this bundle, very convenient. Right? Yeah. Very convenient. Exempt. All right. Then the last P we won't use. Yeah. So last P actually, so here I change a little bit. What do you see here? That's a web application inside this bundle, but this P is not the original meaning of the last P. Original meaning of the last P is Perl. Yeah. Another, scripting language. That's the original meaning of this Perl. Yeah. So we will not use that. Okay. So now I changed from that P. I changed to another P. We will use quite a lot. That's the PHP MyAdmin. Actually, it's a web application. Yeah. Yeah. So a web application to manage MySQL databases. Yeah. Yeah. So we will use this a lot. Yeah. Let me talk about this web application. Yeah. This web application. All right. Yeah. Why we need another web application to manage MySQL databases? Yeah. So here the main reason. MySQL DBMS, database management system, is very powerful. Yeah. Very powerful. It's free. Yeah. Very popular in industry. Yeah. But the problem, there is one problem. It does not include GUI interface. It only has the command line interface. Yeah. People, you need to type command. In a command window, type command. That's not very convenient. Yeah. So we like the GUI interface. Yeah. Yeah. So then many third-party, people, so they develop different tools that can be used to play that role. GUI interface for MySQL, DBMS. Yeah. PHP MyElement is one of them. Yeah. Included in that bundle. Yeah. Very easy to use. I will show you how to use. Yeah. Yeah. But some students may use a different. Yeah. Because some students may take web technology courses, advanced Java. Yeah. So when you take web technology courses, you may use a different tool, to access MySQL databases. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. I have many students, so they like to use the same tools they used in other courses. Yeah. So you can still use that tool. Yeah. But in class, when I show you commands, I will use this PHP MyElement. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's the example. Yeah. So for installation, you just install the most recent. Yeah. Example. Yeah. Very easy. Yeah. So the before I remember I gave tutorials before, but recently it looks pretty easy. Yeah. I do not need to give you tutorials. Yeah. But when you install, on each screen, read it carefully. Yeah, because sometimes some advertisement stuff, the checkbox, yeah, default checkbox related to some advertisement, then you can uncheck. Yeah, otherwise, a lot of garbage things. Yeah, just each screen, read it carefully. Yeah. Yeah. Avoid some garbage. Yeah. Other than that, normal installation. Yeah. Oh yeah, but there are some related technical problems. Yeah. I learned from my previous students. Yeah. If some students, because if they take an advanced Java course even before, because they need to install software, they need to install the MySQL management tool. Then on that machine, one instance of MySQL is already installed running. Then you cannot install. Although you can install XAMPP, but you cannot start MySQL. Conflict. Because the port number already occupied. MySQL database server needs to run on a specific port number. But that port number already occupied. Okay? So if you try to run it, then because there is already one instance running, you cannot. So your action would fail in that situation. Yeah, I have several students who had that problem before. Okay, if you already have that. So the solution, solution not too hard. Yeah, solution. Two ways you can solve this problem. One way, you can find some specific location, because in your tool there is some place. You can kill that instance, kill that running instance, disable that running instance. Then you can start. MySQL from XAMPP. That's one way. Second, you just uninstall your old tool. Yeah. Uninstall your old software. Yeah. You may not, if you want to keep it, then you use the other solution, disable that instance. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the solution we used before. Okay? Yeah. All right. That's some common questions. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Then JavaScript review a little bit. Yeah. 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 So and in this class, we will not use some high-level JavaScript technology. Yeah. So there are some advanced level. Yeah. Some students learn that. Yeah. But for this class, we just use the basic level. Okay. Yeah. Basic JavaScript. Yeah. No specific technology. Yeah. There are several advanced JavaScript packages. Yeah. But because we don't want to spend time. Okay. So here I want to minimize the time we need for our programming projects. Minimize. Okay. So we don't want to learn those advanced technologies. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I do not. But some students, yeah. So last semester wants to ask me. He just learned advanced some JavaScript technology. Yeah. So I allow him to use that. Yeah. 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 But yeah, if you want to, so because if you are familiar with some advanced package, JavaScript package, then you can use. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, we just use the basic JavaScript functions. Yeah. Easy to learn. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. The jQuery. Yeah. jQuery. There is a tutorial section in W3 schools. Yeah. Yeah. So what the sample code I will give you, containing the jQuery functions. Yeah. So I will explain a little bit. Yeah. To get you started. Very easy. Very easy to get used to the syntax, basic syntax. Yeah. Then you can use W3 School tutorial. You can find if you want to do something, you can find it in the W3 schools. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And Ajax. Yeah. Ajax, there is a small section tutorial inside W3 schools. Yeah, very small. Yeah. Yeah, because the whole technology is so simple. Yeah. Yeah. In class, I will explain the basic idea. Yeah. Why it can do many features very fast. Yeah. So that's the Ajax. Yeah. Then JSON, the structure very simple. Okay. Yeah. Structure very simple. Yeah. There is a small section in W3 schools. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we try to use a little bit. Yeah. Not much. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. Especially if I want to show you some examples in NoSQL. Yeah. Then, yeah. So the knowledge of JSON is important. Yeah. All right. Then JavaScript example. Yeah. So I haven't uploaded. So after this class, I will upload some JavaScript examples. Yeah. Because these examples first get you started. Second, prepare you for our first project. Yeah. I will talk about our first project. Yeah. Yeah. Give you some preparation. Yeah. Get started. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the first example, after today's class, I will post that, the zip file containing, JavaScript file, PHP file. Yeah. All right. So the main feature we will use is drag and drop feature. Drag and drop. Yeah. Yeah. On web pages, drag and drop. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We want to use that feature, drag and drop, to do a project. Yeah. Okay. So this example give you the code, how to do the drag and drop on a web page. Yeah. Explain. Yeah. Yeah. So this there are two files. Yeah. One HTML file. Yeah. Yeah. In my zip file, drag and drop .html, the first one. Second, you also have a drag and drop .js, JavaScript file. There are two files, one HTML file, one JavaScript file. Yeah. Yeah. Connected in this way, yeah, because this line inside the HTML file, this line, yeah, connect or import JavaScript file into this HTML file. Yeah. So inside this HTML file, the functions defined in that JavaScript can be called. Yeah. Yeah. So the functions we need to use to support drag and drop feature. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And so here, yeah, right. Here I explain. Yeah, let me look. I only have 8 minutes left. Yeah, yeah, but let me explain a little bit. Yeah, all right. Yeah, actually, yeah. Let me do this because 8 minutes I cannot do much. Okay. Yeah. Let me leave the explanation detail to the next class. Here, let me use the 8 minutes to go to the project idea first, project idea. So the details, drag and drop, we can leave next time. Okay? First, give you high-level understanding of the main idea of our first project. All right. So we skip to next time. Yeah. So this is also drag and drop detail. I can explain next time. Okay? Yeah. But now I talk about the project. So our first project, we will draw 10-gram puzzle. Yeah. We will do a puzzle, 10-gram puzzle. So do you know 10-gram puzzle a little bit? 10-gram puzzle, an ancient Chinese puzzle. Yeah. 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 Long history. Yeah. All right. So it's like this. One square divided into 7 pieces like that. 7 pieces. Yeah. Yeah. So those pieces, you can, break it up, separate all those 7 pieces. Then you can use those 7 pieces to form many different shapes. Yeah, that's the, interesting puzzle, 10-gram. Yeah. There are so many different figures you can use 10-gram to make. Yeah. So here I cut from a website. There is a 10-gram, website. Yeah. So I cut from a website. Yeah. In the website, then you can do, drag and drop, change the location of the pieces to make. There are thousands of figures like that. Thousands of different figures. Yeah. Okay, very challenging. Yeah. Many of them very challenging to make. Yeah. Yeah. So we will do one figure. Okay. So in our first project, we need to, write out code. Yeah. Drag and drop. You need to, break up the pieces, move the pieces, and make a new figure, target figure. There is a target figure there. Okay? Yeah. But you need to write a code support all the actions you need to use. Rotation, some pieces you need to rotate, right? Yeah. So let's practice the basic knowledge to do those features. Yeah, that's our first project. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the main idea, help those students, especially those beginners students, to pick it up. Basic web technologies. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah. So then the PHP thing, because we only have 4 minutes, so I don't want to start a new topic. Yeah, let's continue this project thing. Yeah. But there is one question: how to make all these shapes, right? Yeah, it's not easy to draw those shapes. We do not use some advanced software to make those shapes, shapes. Okay, we use CSS. CSS has some very simple way. The code very short, simple way to allow you to draw all these pieces. Okay, triangle, parallelogram, right? All these shapes you can draw. Just use CSS. Yeah. How to do it? W3 Schools CSS tutorial contains one small section and give you examples to show you how to draw. Yeah, the syntax, the lines, how to draw. Yeah. But you may not be able to understand the code, although you can make it happen. You use that way. You use those given ways. You can draw these pieces, but you may not understand why. Yeah. So I can explain a little bit why we use these ways. We can show these shapes, different shapes. Yeah. So then then you need to connect our drag and drop example with all these 7 pieces. So then you need to drag and drop these 7 pieces. And you need to add several buttons to control these pieces. Some buttons. Yeah. So the buttons, I like you to use the bootstrap buttons. Yeah. Although there are so many different ways to use buttons, right? Yeah. But I like to give you a chance to use bootstrap a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So we do not use much. Yeah. Very little. Yeah. Yeah. So we will use the bootstrap buttons. Yeah, rotating piece, that's one. And several buttons to fine tune. Because when you drag and drop, it's hard to control very precisely, right? Yeah, 1 pixel, how do you control 1 pixel? So we need to fine tune buttons. Move 1 pixel to the left, 1 pixel to the right, 1 pixel up, 1 pixel down, 4 directions. Yeah, but every move, you click that button, you only move 1 pixel. Yeah, so you can fine tune, okay? Yeah, yeah. So make a perfect shape at the end, the perfect shape. Yeah. So you get an idea. Okay? Yeah, our first project. You get an idea. Okay. All right. So let me see how much time. Yeah, yeah. So that's near the end of the class. Yeah. Although I left something I couldn't explain, but next time I will complete the remaining part. Yeah. Yeah. Regarding the classroom, I may like to do this. Yeah. I need to talk to classroom people. Yeah. Sort of, if they can fix that problem, then we can still use that. Otherwise, I just ask we use this classroom. Okay? Yeah. So my second option, we just use this classroom. We have larger classroom. Yeah. You know, everything. Yeah, better, right? So probably I try to change the classroom. Yeah. All right.
Little tables they got.
Yeah. Part B